Hey everyone, I'm Tom, and welcome to the Orange Chronicles, where I chronicle what I have been up to over the past week or so. Let's go ahead and talk about the book that I finished this week, and that would be Dregs of Empire by Christopher Rocchio. This is book 5.5 of the Sun Eater series. This is, one of the novellas that takes place in between the main series books. And quick first impression thoughts of this when I finished it was, this might be my least favorite Sun Eater novella thing that I have read, but it's also still really good. I read this only because so many comments when I asked last week told me that this is something that I should read before I go into Disquiet Gods. And so I did. I'll be very curious to see if it actually feels important, like if things from this story end up getting mentioned or brought up in Disquiet Gods. But overall, I mean, it's a cool story. It feels like it's completely isolated from everything else that is going on. Well, not really, but like, I don't know. I'll be really curious if things from it end up playing a part in Disquiet Gods, or if it's just like, you want the whole story, you want every little bit of information that you can get, how I'll feel about it. I think Queen Amid Ashes, is that the novella? That is still probably my favorite of the novellas that I have read. I have not read the short stories, and I don't think I'm going to have time. Maybe if I do, I'll try to read. I think there's 4 volumes of short stories, but at my current pace, I don't think I'll have time to do those. So there was a very nice comment that, you know, gave me like a good read order for some of the like out ancillary stuff that's going on inside of Sun Eater. But I think unfortunately for me, I'm just going to have to continue on with Disquiet Gods, which is what I am still currently working on right now. I'm actually not very far into Disquiet Gods. I actually spent this morning today, I had some really random electrical issue. It took me a long time to figure out what was going on. Outlets were working in a bedroom, but lights weren't, but not all of the receptacles were, and it just ended up being a loose lead wire to the rest of the circuit. But it took me way longer to figure out what was going on with that, so I would have spent that time in the morning reading Disquiet Gods instead. But I'm very early on, and once again, Sun Eater does that thing where there's a big time jump, and it's still not something that I'm super used to, even though like it has happened throughout this entire series. It just so casually will be like, hey, 300 years have passed. Hey, 50 years have passed. Hey, it's a series that plays with time in a way that I enjoy. I actually really like that it's very casual with it, and it's something that happens over and over again. Obviously, when you have space travel and everything, like we know like how old characters are versus how long they've been alive, and how those things don't really match up. And there's a lot of stuff going on there, which I like. And Disquiet Gods definitely hits you over the head with that right at the start, and you get some like really big information super early on, like, maybe it's not huge information for like the story as a whole, but it is very important information to the reader, and then obviously to our main character themselves. And so I did enjoy that, and I'm hoping to burn through this. Well, not burn through it. I don't want to say it like that, but I have a feeling I will get through this one pretty quickly. I don't have too much time left for the gala, but enough time that I can take my time, enjoy this book. But I really want to be caught up. I want to be able to like look things up online. I want to be able to watch other people's videos, see theories that they have, all those kinds of things. Like, I'm so ready to be a part of that. And unfortunately for me, the gap between being able to do that with Disquiet Gods and then us going straight into Shadows Upon Time is going to be very, very small. And so, hopefully I can do and watch all of that. But I have very high hopes for this book. I really, I've heard a few people not like this book a lot, and then I know plenty of people who this is their favorite book. And so I'm just curious on where I'm going to end up in there. And there's so much stuff that happened at the end of the last book. It was a real tone shift for what was going on at the end of that, of Ashes Among Men, Amid Men, Ashes Amid Men, or whatever. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Wow, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But there's a big tonal shift there, and I'm just really curious on what's going to happen here. And obviously, very excited to get to the last book. But that is all I have been reading. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that I have been going all in on Sun Eater, and pretty soon we'll get back to a more normal cadence of me reading a more wide variety of stuff, because that is normally what I like to do. I like to spread things out and have a couple of different series going on, and things like that. So we'll see what happens. As always, I would love to know what you read and all that fun stuff in the comments or in the Discord that is linked in the description, as we now transition on over to the manga and comic front. Still kind of on my prohibition of manga right now. I did have a buddy telling me how good the new season of My Hero Academia, the anime, is. I haven't watched anime in a really long time. I actually finished that manga when I was caught up with My Hero, but just hearing him talk about how good the anime is, it almost makes me want to get back into anime. I don't know if I have the time for that. It's just, there's only so much time in the day. I'd rather read than watch stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Still on that prohibition. And then I'm still working on the second compendium of Invincible. I don't know, 3/4 of the way done with it. It's been so good. I'm very excited to continue on and see what happens, because there's like some crazy information that like we as the reader know, but our main characters don't know. And the story is expanding like crazy. We're going to places and doing things that like I'm very excited to see what happens. I will say, I think I'm starting to like, after I finished the first compendium, I think I liked the first compendium more than I liked the animation, the TV show. But now I think I have a different perspective, where I think I might like the TV show more without even having have seen it yet, because I think some of the areas it is able to expand on and build stuff up a little bit more does a better job than it in the comics. And I'll be really curious on if that is true or not. Like, there's a battle that happens in the second compendium that felt very quick and that it was over quickly. And I have a feeling it will be at least an entire episode in the TV show. And so I'm just really excited to see that. And that's the kind of like stuff that it's able to be built out and built up more. And so yeah, I'm just really curious on what's going to happen there. But yeah, so I'll continue working on that as well. And then on what I watched, Brent, well, the Steelers play tonight, so my day hasn't been ruined yet. We play the Packers tonight, and I think the Steelers, I don't think they're going to win. I think we've been a little bit of a fraudulent team so far this year, so I'm a little worried. I would if they win this game, it will reset my mindset a little bit here. But after the horrible game we lost on Thursday night, I mean, it's really hard to be optimistic about the team. But we'll see what happens there. But because it is October, me and my fiance have been trying to watch a few horror movies, and this is kind of book related because we watched The Mist. This is the Stephen King novella. This is a novella that I've told myself I think I was going to try to read last year, never got around to it. She did. And then we finally watched the movie this year. She had never seen the movie, so she was, getting to see the differences between the book and the movie. And from what I know, the ending, the actual ending of the movie, is significantly different than what happens at the end of the novella. And it's not like the greatest masterpiece of like cinema, but like it's a pretty fun, quick movie. I will say it is quick, but it did really make me want to read the novella now. So maybe that is something that will hop onto the TBR if I need some other short stuff, because it's really short. I have the paperback, and it's not a very long story, but it is a fun one, and I kind of want to see what's going on there. So that has been my week. Obviously not anything too crazy or exciting, just plugging along with Sun Eater, and we're so close to being caught up there at the end. But once again, definitely let me know what you were up to, anything you did in the comments or in the Discord. But remember to read what you want when you want.